2, 1.
Live from the Rob Christensen Radio Network Satellite Studio, it's Jim and Rob Overanalyze the Movies. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Jim and Rob and Cody over... Well, wait a sec, I had a whole fancy thing here. Jim and Rob Overanalyze the Movies, the video podcast for folks who love to talk about movies as much as they love watching them. Of course, we're kind of like a DIY film studies course if you're going to Greendale Community College. Anyway, tonight, as you can see in the fancy overlay BS, we're actually going to be looking at the Golden Globe Awards last night and really our predictions. A month almost to the day ago, both Jim and myself and our good friend Cody from the Brockopp Side joined us, and we made some outlandish predictions. And we're going to go through those predictions tonight. Of course, we're going to start with our, give our first thoughts on the actual show, the actors and actresses, our predictions there, and where our predictions kind of matched reality and where it perhaps didn't. And then we'll get into the TV shows and movies. Every now and then we'll check back in with the chat for those folks who are joining us tonight. And then, of course, we'll have our final thoughts. So that's kind of our agenda. Let's keep moving on with that. I want to, and of course, one more thing. You know what? If you like this kind of content and you want to do us a solid, Jim and I, please smash the like button. It really does help out with the YouTube algorithm. So there we go. That's the first, but not the last shameless plug. All right. I think it's now time to bring in our co-hosts. First of all, I'd love to invite my good friend, my weekly co-host with the most, the legendary Mr. Jim Chloboyko. How you doing,
Award
sir?
Free. Good. I haven't won any awards this year, so I have no ulterior motives. Or maybe I have a lot of them. I don't know. But
none whatsoever, right?
Let's hit it. Yeah. Surprisingly, because I had no output last. Well, we did this, but aside from this, not too much writing for me. But anyway, all set to go.
Fantastic. All right. And of course, we wouldn't really have a show. At least not this show, if it wasn't for a good friend from the Brockopp Side, Mr. Cody Brockopp. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good. How about you guys?
Pretty damn good. What do you think of our fancy? Look at this. We're all ready for you this time, Cody.
Oh,
it's
man,
all about you.
You got titles, and then you got text, and you got, oh, look, there's my name right there, too.
This is your name, penciled in.
Yeah, but I think you forgot a graphic over there, Rob.
Oh,
I think you forgot something there.
Yes, I did.
Oh, there's more.
Listen. Oh, there's plenty more, but I left something on, And Cody, the eagle eye, is pointing that out. All right, guys, let's get into it as soon as the device allows me to make this happen. Let's just have a quick round table on our take on what happened last night. What did we like? What didn't we like? Did we care? Did we watch? And you know what? It's not to put you on spot. It's because I'm polite, Cody. We'll start with you. Tell us what you thought, man.
Well,
Meanwhile, I'll put on some tunes.
Okay. Well, it's a good
I like
thing
the pause, Cody, though. Well, let me see if this sets the mood properly.
Well, it's a good thing that you asked if I actually watched it, because I didn't actually watch it. I followed along on Twitter, as the different winners were announced and stuff, but from the little itty bitty clips I saw, it was it's just all the celebrities in a giant Zoom meeting, and only like a third of them even dressed up for it, which that was kind of funny. So yeah, definitely not the same feel without it, being a theater full of people, and I think we're ultimately gonna have a better production value than they did.
Well, certainly for some of them, eh? Jason
Yeah.
Sudeikis was like in a tie-dyed sweatshirt. Meanwhile, some of these women are like still fully decked out. Like, my whole career, I have counted on wearing this thing.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
Sudeikis
wearing
has.
it. I don't even care. What's that?
Sudeikis and his wife just broke up, so I sort of wonder if he was just doing the Bachelor thing. Yeah. So that's. I was sort of, and he appeared apparently by himself. So, yeah. Anyhow.
In a
Poor
dark
Jason.
apartment.
Yeah.
All
With a hoodie.
perhaps.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of thought that was one of the, because it wasn't like they just broke up, did they? I can't believe we're talking about these people's personal lives.
Already. Bing.
We're already in there.
That's
Jim and
the whole
Rob
point.
overanalyze celebrity gossip. Woo!
Celebrities.
But I thought-
They're just like us.
But I
They
thought
wear
it explained
sweaters
one of the
too.
storylines in Ted Lasso, because he was going through
Oh,
a
okay. Yeah.
breakup.
Ooh.
In his character was, and I think it was as he was, almost like
Art?
Oh, is this a bit of art?
Art mimics
Form.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, there's a part of me kind of going, the character is so nice, and his wife is basically leaving him because he's too good. It's like, perhaps a fantasy playing out.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not fair. What for you guys, and you and I, the three of us corresponded a bit before we really got in, before we came to this point, and we all saw that LA Times article, which is almost like every few years, one of the real newspapers has to do a thing about how, borderline corrupt the Hollywood Foreign Press Association is. Was there anything shocking in that LA Times piece? And I will have a link to it in a pinned comment after the show.
I'll go first. I think that the revelation that they're sort of a little bit slow to the game is kind of surprising. I mean, they have other, obviously, people of color involved, but it seems like a pretty basic oversight that they, and especially with all the news going on about it, I hope they weren't surprised by the backlash.
Mm-hmm. I can't imagine, would they? What did you think, Cody, when you took a look at that article?
Let me start off by saying, which article exactly? This is the first time I'm hearing about this article.
Well, there's so many. Well, you should read your DMs in Twitter. It was the LA Times did a piece on somebody had sued them, lost their case, sued them to get in, basically a Swedish reporter / production coordinator / multimedia producer. She mostly does celebrity interviews. That's kind of her public-facing shtick. And she had sued to join. She didn't like the reasons they gave her. She basically, it sounds like she was blackballed out and she was pissed. But one of the things that came out in the lawsuit was, they have no African-American, even though it is the Hollywood Foreign Press Association and most of the world is brown.
Or
Not a
even,
black person.
I don't think just African American. I think just black people
Brown.
from Africa or or Afro Anglo, folks, black folks from England. I think there's like zero. So.
Yeah, and then of course it dredges up all the past indiscretions and their weird financing and all the other nonsense that just goes with the Golden Globe Awards. That's the article I'm referring to, Cody.
So
And
basically, the system is corrupt and whack, and that's about it.
You know what? Maybe I'll save this a bit more for the final thoughts. I got to admit, after reading it all and some of the stuff like they talk about, you guys, like literally in the article, it's how many of these members may actually depend on it for a significant portion of their income. And there's something kind of sort of maybe a little sad and a little shrug of the shoulders. And it's like the thing has always been known as kind of a, you know, the ne'er-do-well kid brother of the Oscars. You know, like it's no one, you know, and again, I made the smart remark earlier, like last time we got together on this, where it's like the only people who care about this is people who win awards. I'll amend that slightly. The people who care about this are the studios who use it as a marketing. It's a marketing vehicle for them. Yes, the people who win awards, because it doesn't matter if it's a BS award. Heck, it might be a BS award that you literally bought, but you still care about. And I think actually, and I'm gonna bring it open a little. You know what? It's almost like we should cover these things like we cover sports stuff. The fans like this SHIT. It's the thing that they feel they can be the most engaged in, that they can body English the results, just like, you know, just like when you're playing bowling, when you're bowling, and you tilt because you want the ball to go that way, because there's a part of you really thinks you moving after you're no longer touching it will affect it, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm a little, and yeah, some of these, and they're kind of a group of weirdos, if that's how they're making their money, because NBC's willing to give them millions of dollars a year.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I mean, is it that bad? You know? Like,
The other, yeah, it's sort of a weird entity, isn't it? I mean, I tried to, I was working almost right up until we went with our own show last night. So I was able to catch a little bit of it during dinner, my various breaks. I sort of tried to time them with the opening monologue and stuff like that. But yeah, it's typically in a non-COVID year, it's that sort of crazy, wacky, loose one where half the broadcast is people creeping up to their, from their tables to the stage, because it takes them so long to weave in between the people, and it was they still had people in the audience. There were first responders, but yeah, it's kind of it's its own thing, right? It's a bit of a different beast, but I think people are looking for that fun, that sort of, possible controversy, people to say catty things, and usually the hosts are usually on point. Tina and Amy, though, their opening segment was only about 7 or 8 minutes, and it was. I mean, there's some funny stuff in there, but it was pretty noticeably short. So,
yeah. Well, weren't they trying to fake kind of as though they're in the same place? A couple locked off camera, a bit of camera trickery.
They had them together, and then an arm came out. Allegedly Tina Fey's arm came to stroke Amy Poehler's hair, but I think it was a man's hand. So you had Tina Fey on one side and the man's hand on the other, or it was a pretty, a lot beefier than little Tina Fey. So, but that's sort of the, little bit of a sight gag and kind of fun.
Well, and also an illusion, maybe a silent plug for her book, Man Hands.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that whole thing with the big forearms and then her head perched on top. Yeah. So yeah, you can tell if you've watched enough 30 Rock and SNL, you can sort of tell a Tina Fey joke, even if it's been written by a room of writers. You can say, okay, that's the one. So.
All right. Well, on that note, you know what? We do have some folks joining us in the chat, which is always awesome. Why don't we say hi to this gang before we get to the heart of our agenda? All right. First of all, Ahmed, Jelly Duck. Good to see you here, man. And we also got the Upside Dan from the Upside Dan. A little golf clap from Cody.
That's a good one. Hi, Dan.
Good. Good to see you here, Dan. Hope you're Dan's really close on the subscriber bubbles to break 100. So what for the several people who watch the show, hey, you should go check out the Upside Down. After you check out, of course, our good friend here. Where are we? I know I got you up here. Come on. We got to check out Cody, the Brockopp Side. You'll find a link to the Brockopp Side, of course, in the description below, and you can find Cody on Twitter at Cody Brockopp. I'll leave that on for a sec. Cody, while that's on there, why don't you tell us, what do you got, before we get into the thing, what do you got coming up? What are you excited about? What's coming up for the Brockopp Side?
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. Nothing too awful crazy this week. I got one kind of cool video I don't want to spoil just yet for Wednesday. It ties back into everything I do, but it's slightly different, and you'll realize what I'm talking about once it comes out. And apparently that Paramount Plus streaming service is coming out this week, and the only reason I'm picking it up so early is because it's got the new SpongeBob movie on it, and I really want to see it.
Oh yeah.
So I'm pretty much just gonna get it for the sake of that. And a couple other
let's try
little
that.
things, but yeah, pretty much just business as usual. Other than that,
Cool beans. All right. Now, Jim, why don't we start? We kind of put Cody on the spot last time. Why don't we start with you, if that's cool with you?
Sure, yeah.
And why don't you take us through, and we'll start with, bear with me, actresses and actors. Who are your picks? Who did you like who was your favorite, your one you wanted to, the heart win for actresses, and then the one you figured, no, this is the safe bet, and then the eye poker. Although if memory serves, you didn't really, in the actresses category, there was no one you really had a mean on for. You're like, I like X, I think Y will win, none of them bug me.
Yeah. Yeah, well, aside from the, Emily in Paris, there was one interesting joke last night. I think Tina Fey said something like, French, somebody mentioned French exit, and she said, French exit's what I did after I watched Emily in Paris, which is kind of fill in the blank yourself, but I thought it was a very Tina type of joke. For actresses,
Cody, don't you love the way Jim refers to her as though they're pals? It's very Tina.
Yeah,
very much. I was totally off with actresses. I had in the main category, I had I guess that would be drama. I had Viola Davis that I was hoping for, and I thought Frances McDormand. I was thinking that my mind was saying Frances McDormand would win. Neither of them won. Instead, it was Andra Day from the Billie Holiday movie. And I don't think any of us had mentioned her. And Billie Holiday. I would love to watch that, but I don't know that a lot of. I'm surprised that enough people saw it. I'm not sure what its release schedule was, that sort of thing. For TV, I was hoping for Daisy Edgar Jones. She didn't win, I believe. The Queen's Gambit, Goyle. I think she won for that. So that's it for that. That's what I had for actresses. For actors, I was hoping for
let's
Chadwick.
Just do actresses.
Just actresses first. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Was there any one of them, any of the wins or losses that, like, were you burned on any of these? Like,
no,
like none of them
can't
bugged
say
you in
as
any way?
Not really. I mean, once again, I've heard Billie Holiday as a movie is not bad. I know Rosamund Pike also won. Jodie Foster won, and so those are some of the actresses that did win. But yeah, not having seen those, I wasn't sure. Also, the Mauritanian, I guess a lot of people did manage to see it. But this is one that I had to sort of look
There's
up
only
because I wasn't
90
sure about it.
voting members. Heck,
Yeah,
they
it's true,
flew
it's true.
half of them to Paris for Emily in
Yeah.
Paris.
Yeah,
It's an easy group to go after.
yeah, and nice and confined and probably easy to wrangle, I'm sure. So yeah, none of those three really surprised me. I'd have to see these things, but I was hoping for some. It's nice to have some new people win, like Andra Day.
Yeah.
But anyhow.
Yeah, cool. Cody, a quick question for you before we go looking at your past and then current reality. I don't remember Rosamund Pike ever coming up in our conversation, but I don't even remember the ability to see that movie. It must have been one of those limited release to get into the awards discussion, eh? Like,
yeah, I don't think we mentioned her at all. What was it for that movie that just came out? Like, I Care a Lot.
I Care a Lot.
I Care a Lot. Yeah.
Didn't that just come out like a week or two ago?
Yeah. Well, but
I
it
think
must
in
have,
wide release.
Yeah, I think the streaming release and everything, but I think they must have had it in a few theaters just to qualify.
Probably.
You know.
Yeah. The five in that category were Rosamund Pike. We did talk about Maria Bakalova from the Borat movie.
Yeah.
Kate Hudson, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Anna Taylor-Joy for Emma. She had quite a year. Not for the Queen's Gambit, but for that other thing that she did. So Rosamund Pike is the one that came away with it. Lost in the Reel. Sean had reviewed that, quite liked it. It's sort of gotten a little bit of mixed
I Care a Lot.
reviews.
Yeah.
But sorry, I'm stealing Cody's thunder here.
Yeah. All right, Cody. Yeah. So, all right, you had predicted. Who did you predict? What are you pulling out of your you know what now?
Let's see.
I think you're another one who didn't have any mean on for anyone.
Yeah, I really didn't have anything. Yeah, I wasn't having any negative feelings towards anything. As far as the actresses went, I know I definitely was like, I really hope Carey Mulligan has a good chance at that. Although I had predicted that Frances McDormand would have won for Nomadland, which weirdly enough, I hadn't seen that movie when we did our prediction live stream, but I have since then, and it's a really good movie. So I was definitely way off the mark though with Best Actress because I really had no knowledge of the Billie Holiday movie like whatsoever, so I definitely would not have thought about that one too much. Let's see. I think that was really the only one that I had any like actual predictions towards as far as actresses go.
Yeah.
So
anything in there in that mix that surprised you, like of people who did win in the end? Any big shockers to you? Whether positive or negative. Not looking for necessarily a hot take, although would love a hot take.
Not particularly, I guess. I did kind of have a feeling that Anya Taylor-Joy would end up winning something because she was nominated for quite a few different roles in quite a few different shows and miniseries, I guess. So the fact that she won for, let's see, didn't she win? She won for Queen's Gambit, right?
Yep. Yes, she did.
Yes.
So that one kind of seemed like a no-brainer to me, but other than that, nothing else really stood out as far as actresses go. Like, oh, how could they pick that person or over that person? You know, just like it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah. For myself, guys, I went along with the crowd. The crowd, Cody, on my predictor, Francis McDormand, who, and I like the way Jim put it last. It's like the perennial, the what did you call her? The Tom Brady of
Oh yeah,
actors at these award shows, which I found quite entertaining. Myself, though, I actually got. I was pretty pleased with this, the way this all played out. You know, I didn't have a lot of skin in the game. As far as Francis McDormand did, I thought it was a safe bet. Would have lost my money, but I wasn't like going for long odds there. I wanted, but I knew it probably wasn't going to happen. But I had a soft spot for Kaylee Cuoco. She didn't win, but I'm like not going, oh, I didn't think she was going to. Her show wasn't good enough, regardless of what she did in it. And I hated on Lily Collins, and that is, again, while not a fan of her work, I'm not saying she's a bad actor. It was just this show really bugged the living you-know-what out of me. Yeah. And that she didn't win, that even, and this is hilarious, guys, well, not even a ha-ha, even her own writers, like one of the writers of the show did a great piece in The Guardian, which I believe I shared with you guys, and I'll make sure I pin it for everyone else. I'll pin it in the comment after the show. There was a Guardian piece from one of the writers saying, hey, I'm really happy we're nominated, but I kind of know what we're making here.
Yeah.
And that we were nominated, but this other show, and I can't remember what it was, but it's a woman chasing after this guy who raped her. Like it's a really like one of those, wow, this is an amazing show, you should all watch, that I'm now ashamed I haven't watched. But she's like, that should be nominated. Oh, way before us.
I can't remember.
But it was a great piece. And so it's not like I feel even vindicated when one of the above the line talents going, whoa wait, what, us? Like, I think her mom called her and she was like, Mom, just because my name came up in an article doesn't mean I'm getting anything. Like, she wasn't buying it. And then it's like, oh, really? Us? Okay. Great moment. And that made me feel vindicated. So I'm quite happy the way this all played out for us.
It was very awkward, too, on stage because they're making jokes and then they're showing the Zoom feed or whatever feed of the people in the show. So, you know, Tina and Amy would do some zingers, deliver some zingers, and then they'd show Lily Collins, and she'd kind of be like, "What?" You know, and other people would laugh, and there was a couple James Corden jokes, and they cut to him, and he's got that kind of like, you know, that sort of, you know, the mouth is smiling, but the eyes aren't smiling, you know, that kind of thing. So you don't necessarily have to cut immediately to the person. You can give it a couple seconds. Someone on Twitter said yesterday, this Golden Globe show is really great for the Emmy Awards because the Emmys pulled it off mid-COVID, and these guys, it was a little bit painful in areas. So, but BuzzFeed already has a 17 most awkward things about last night's award show. So, yeah.
Well, and you know what? Again, another pin for later. Oh, excuse me, terrible belch. My apologies, folks. Another pin to discuss later. I think this goes back to, what is this show really about? Who is actually being entertained? Why are we being entertained? How does this work? And that might be a whole other, like, I might actually might do an essay on it. One of those video essays, all pretentious and fancy, but...
Oh, Rob, no, please, don't go that way. You got so much to live for, man. Don't do it.
Have you seen what we do, Cody? You're familiar?
Yeah, but
or are you basically, oh, hey, man, I just guessed on his show. I don't watch the goddamn thing.
Well, at least you're honest about it, unlike some video essays where like, this is bad. I only watched half of it, but I know better than you.
Now there's a hot take. That's the hot take I was looking for.
Yeah, video essays
I didn't
are
want
whack.
that thing, my whole show reduced to that. All right. Let's go back. Well, first of all, let's see if we got anything. I think I put everything up in the chat, but I did want to highlight a couple of comments from the Upside Dan. And first of all, yeah, Jelly Duck, great to see you. Thanks for popping by, especially after Cody last night. Jim and I, we did, of course, 2001: A Space Odyssey. We went long. Again, managed to go longer than what is a really long effing film. Like, it was 3 hours, and at the end of it, I was rushing through comments, kind of going, I'll get them up on the screen so that we can come back later. We'll do a part 2. It was kind of nuts. So seeing any of the folks, like the Upside Dan, here another night in a row is awesome. All right. The Upside Dan, and I'll just kind of whip through these quickly. Andrew Day was a shock to him. He confirms, yeah, I care a lot. It had to have been just like, oh, we were in 4 theaters on December 24th for 3 hours. You know, a matinee. We had 2 people show up. Sean Lost in the Real, of course, and Dan really loved I Care a Lot. And I don't know,
that?
Where'd that come from?
Anyway,
And
the chat was a little empty, so I was trying to fill it up a little bit.
how's Upside Dan's member count, by the way?
I think we added 1 to him from last night. So
Okay.
Those are rookie numbers. We got to get those up.
yes,
Yeah.
we do.
Well,
And where
I
are
added
you?
my name.
Oh, awesome! Maybe you were the one, my friend. Cody, where are you at? You're kissing 500, aren't you?
Yeah, I think I'm like 9 away now.
Oh,
Yeah, very, very close.
oh, so close. All right, we got to get those get that count up. Upside Dan. Must have been a glitch because he lost 6 this morning. Jesus.
Oh man, who hurt you, Dan? Tell me. Point him out.
Now we're getting violent. Now we get to the end game of this show. All right. Okay. Let's go back to let's get back to actresses and actors, and let's talk about actors. Cody, you want to go first, or
Yeah, might as well because I'm the big picture here apparently.
you are in the big picture? It's all about.
Well, I think if I remember correctly, we were all in general agreement that Chadwick Boseman would end up winning for Best Actress in a Drama.
Yeah. Yes.
So definitely not a surprise. You know, part of it's because they just want to honor an actor that was unfortunately gone too soon, and also the fact that he's a great actor and he's a great talent.
Did you see him in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom?
I've been wanting to watch it for like a week now, but my Wi-Fi has been absolute garbage because the weather has been affecting it. So Netflix has not worked for me whatsoever.
Really?
So,
Oh my gosh.
Yikes.
Yeah, it just what happens when the wind gets really powerful. Now the internet company's got to come and like fix the satellite on top of my roof or something. But yeah, but I mean, I like Chadwick Boseman and see him in plenty of other things, and I don't think he would have given a bad performance, in one of these kind of movies. So I'm just kind of taking it on good faith that, it was more than worthy of the award. And rest in peace. That's just like it's.
Was there anyone you wanted?
Let's
Like where you're pulling for, or was this one of the mushier areas?
Yeah, this is another example of, excuse me, there were a lot of really talented actors that were nominated for, like, Anthony Hopkins, Riz Ahmed, Gary Oldman. They're all great in other things, but unfortunately, I didn't really see any of these movies, because some of them I didn't even realize were out yet, like, The Father. I don't know too much about that movie. All I know is, I saw a trailer for it. But, yeah, it's kind of another one of those things, like, I just really am not so caught up on movies lately that I don't really have any real strong or negative opinions about any of them.
Do you think that is? I'm kind of curious. Do you think, Cody, that is because of, how can I put this? Just the changing nature of the whole film scene. Like, you could. I was kidding with another folk in our space, and it's like, Jim and I are downright lazy. We do one a week. We really talk the crap out of it, but we're doing one a week where you, whether it's hauls or multiple reviews, I'm thinking Sean, the Upside Down, like some of our other friends, our peers in the scene, and the number of movies they are watching, and not just, I watch, like, click, hey, I saw a third of that or whatever, but really watching, and you're still missing stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that can get really frustrating really fast, because it's like, I want to see everything that everybody's talking about, but there's just not enough hours in the day, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I think some of that just because of, the pandemic and things like that, fewer proper theatrical releases, so, that's kind of like been, the traditional go-to for that kind of stuff, and then, there's new streaming movies and shows every single week, so unless you just sit at home, lock yourself in your bedroom, and don't interact with society at all, you're not going to be able to watch anything. It's just
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Jim.
No, go. I was just gonna say, they keep on saying golden age of TV, and yeah, there's I mean, you watch something like the one that Kaylee Cuoco did, the flight attendant, and that's 8 hours, and some of these other things. Part of that is that, if the wife wants to watch it and I'm okay with it, we'll watch it together, because there's things that I want to see that she doesn't want to, and the things that she wants to see that I don't want, don't want to. But so time is not fun. For everything you decide to watch, there's something that you don't watch, and yeah, it gets pretty tricky, like balancing all these streaming services, and all I can say is thank God for television in this COVID lockdown. We'd be all going. We'd all be like. It would be like a big Jack London novel where we club each other to death because we think the other one stole their sugar supply or something like that. We'd be going insane. And but this way, there's just so much out there.
Yeah. So Jim, since you're in the big picture now, in the big frame, yeah, that's exactly it.
I'm Cody.
What actors? I think, yeah, we all agreed Chadwick Boseman was probably going to get it. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jim.
That's the one I got right.
Yeah. Wow,
That's
and
for
the dollar you put down, you got back $1.05. Here you go.
There you go.
Whoa, interest! Wow.
Coming out ahead.
Or maybe just 5 pennies even. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? Who else did you talk about last time?
I think
Was there
for
any
the
big
other
shockers.
Yeah, I mean, if we do a Golden Globes thing next year, I think I'll be a little more prepared, knowing, that there are approximately 183 acting categories, but there's a lot of them. For the musical or comedy, I had chosen Andy Samberg, who is not, I was all in with Palm Springs. That's not ultimately how it worked out. And I'm just looking now. Sacha Baron Cohen, of course, yeah. Just looking at the nomination list, it reminds me that Andy Samberg's character was named Niles, which I think is the only the second occasion that I've seen a Niles in popular culture. But the other one being Frasier, of course. Yeah, so I was all in with Chadwick. I was all in with Palm Springs, so I was about half right, I guess.
What was there any one of them win, lose, or draw that bugged you? Anything that kind of piqued your,
there seems to be a little bit of domination. If anybody did dominate the whole night, whether movies or TV, The Crown. I know it's popular. I know the years there's some bad years, but yeah, kind of surprised. The Crown, its success sort of surprised me. I'm not surprised that Schitt's Creek came away with a couple. One for actress, but that we just talked about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't say it's nice that Jason Sudeikis won. If Ted Lasso didn't win the series prize, it's nice that Jason Sudeikis got some love there. So that's good. But yeah, none of it really did surprise me. I know a lot of people on our chat last time, just from reviewing it today, they thought there was Lin-Manuel was going to win.
Mm-hmm.
I know Upside Dan did call, and I wonder if this is a namesake thing. He was pulling for Daniel Kaluuya to win. They're both named Dan, of course, so he may have ulterior motives. Yeah, so
well,
it's
there's
maybe
good
a Dan
psychological
union of Dans.
There's good psychological
Global
research. We have an affinity for people who have the same name, have the same birthday, come from the same. It's why con artists love to establish that, I grew up in that town. So did you really?
Yeah.
You seem to have been grown up in four towns because we heard 4 towns. Well, that was when I was 3. This is when I was 6. Sorry.
They're both members of GUD, GUD, the Global Union of Dans.
Local. North American local. Okay.
But yeah, so other than that, I wasn't sort of taking a look at the list, and Boyega, of course, won for Small Axe, which we just reviewed the other week there too, and that was nice because we're familiar with it. We're essentially fresh off just having watched it, so that was kind of cool. And yeah, I think he did a commendable job there. So that was cool. Yeah.
Cool.
Avu.
Well, for myself, I'm pretty happy. I mean, I'm not taking any credit for, do you think they'll serve lunch at the restaurant that we go to for lunch every day? Yes, I do. And then, wow, they serve lunch. Boy, am I a predictor.
Wow.
Karnak, what was Johnny Carr's Karnak the Remarkable or the Amazing or whatever. But I am, thank you, Jim. I was happy for Jason Sudeikis. And if we ever do another television show, of course, next week, folks, for those of you who don't know, we are taking a look at WandaVision next week. But if Jim and I do another TV show, I'd love to do Ted Lasso because it's in some ways, as much as I love it, it has some deep subtext problems that I'd love to get into, Anyway, I was happy in the Jason Sudeikis one because I just had such a soft spot for that show.
Well, hold on. Quick aside, why do people like it so much? I haven't seen it, and I don't have Apple TV, but I've almost universally people speak highly of it.
I can take this. Cody, do you have any thoughts on this first?
Oh,
for Ted Lasso?
I haven't seen it either. Honestly, all I've heard about is when it got brought up on this show a few times.
Because I'm such a fan. Jim, I would say, and I encourage anyone in the chat to chime in on this as well if they've got an opinion, from watching it. It's a pretty solid sweetheart. It's a sitcom with a good heart, and it does do a couple of things kind of uniquely. The gag here is Jason Sudeikis plays Ted Lasso, I'm not sure if his accent's from Kansas, certainly the southern U.S., the southeastern U.S., Mason-Dixon line adjacent state.
Sudeikis himself is from Kansas, so.
Oh, okay. Then maybe that's part of the gag. He is Ted Lasso. He was a successful tier 2 college football coach. He gets hired by this woman to coach a Premier League team called the AFC Richmond in England. He doesn't know jack about football, soccer, but he goes anyway. And it's one of those things where I would liken him to, he is the human version of Paddington Bear. He is so positive. Even though he has troubles and struggles in that, he is so positive. He is the one who changes it. Everyone else has arcs. He doesn't have an arc. It's his positivity that changes everyone else. But some of the ways they handle stuff where you're like, oh, is this going to be he said, she's, oh no, they're going to resolve that. And well, like adults do. The way a couple of the characters deal with divorce is really kind of cool. The way people forgive each other, although at times it's still a television show. It's not real life, but it feels more adult. The other thing I would say is it is the best parts of the American myth about being positive and friendly and good. He is, in a way, and this is what I mean, there's a subtext here that I'd love to get my teeth into. He is very much like the ideal cisgender white male rescuer, but in a way, like it's one of those things, well, if they're all like that, maybe we wouldn't have these problems.
Yeah.
We aren't. I say that all of us, we're not. That's not the real world.
Aww.
It's also
You're bringing down Cody.
I don't mean to bring down Cody, but I mean it, and it's very, there's a paternalism in here, eh? A very subtle paternalism. Oh, if we all had a boss like that, we'd all be wonderful. It's like, that's not how power works. But at the same time, it makes for a really sweet show. A real, and it's got that bit of a fish out of water thing. And, how does he win everyone over to his side? And he does. Again, he's Paddington Bear in human form. An American Paddington Bear with American, worldview. Well, like it is. It's worth, God damn it, watch it. Even though I think it would get a fail in again, the subtext is, I don't want to say disturbing, but I would criticize it.
It's idealized.
It's deeply, but still, watch it. Oh God, watch it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well, I like Sudeikis too. So.
This commercial for Ted Lasso is
Download
now over.
Apple TV Plus for $4.99 a month.
Brought to you by.
Well, and they'll give you a week free, Jim, and it's super bingeable. Stupid bingeable. Although now you may want to wait until they bring out Foundation. They're at Apple TV's adapting Isaac Asimov's Foundation trilogy, and it looks super cool. I'm kind of excited.
I was worried that was an Ayn Rand thing.
No, it is not.
That's the Fountainhead. So that. Whew.
Yeah, it is not.
Okay.
So oh God. And so you'll understand why I was so keen. If you watch it, you'll see why I was so keen on it winning, even though I didn't think it was, but my heart wanted it. Even when things are wrong, it's like Captain America. I'm still in the movie world. I'm on his side, although I can criticize Captain America. The worldview's wrong, but who's not on Team Cap? Assholes. That's who.
Yeah.
I can hold contradictory thoughts in my head there, Cody. Don't you be. I see you. I see you snickering, sneering, snarkiness. All right. Last but certainly not least, the mean on I had, and it wasn't a big mean on. And again, I am unlike Lily Collins, I am a fan of a lot of Jeff Daniels' work, but I was like, what for the Comey rule? And I was like,
yeah, that's true too. Yeah,
I was not. It wouldn't have bothered me as much, but it was still like, come on, I think I was making a smart remark, but it is. It's like, this loaf of white bread was nominated for. It's like, and I'm talking about the character and the performance he chose and was directed, and not, I'm not saying Jeff Daniels is
him as a person,
loaf of white bread. Yeah.
Yeah. He was notable for having shown up in flannel last night as opposed to dressing up. So that was one of the little catty things on Twitter earlier today. And he was surrounded by a room that was just all doors. There was just 9 doors behind him. It was kind of freaky, but anyhow.
He wanted options to get out. Or,
exactly.
Or it's his own deep cut reference to... any of you guys watch Rick and Morty?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Remember
we got all kinds of fake
weird...
doors around here, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Doors that go to nowhere, yeah.
Oh, wait, it's the same commercial. It's still going on.
Whoa, where's Answer My Eyes Johnson when you need him?
All right, enough of that deep cut. Here's Ahmed being cheeky, called me Captain Canada. Rest assured, Ahmed, when Jim and I take a look at Cowboys and Indians, a film that we will put on the schedule once we get past the Oscars, you'll see we can criticize our own some of the myths about our own culture. All right,
Cowboys are not real. What?
Oh, it's darker than that. Cody, we may have you as a guest.
For Cowboys and Aliens?
For Cowboys and Indians.
It's an Indians.
Oh.
Although,
yeah, no,
I was thinking of something else. Okay.
Yeah.
Cowboys and Aliens features Adam Beach, who is from Winnipeg.
It is true, and he had a solid role in that one. Mm-hmm. Although at the same time, him dying when his weasel son. Oh well, we're not talking about that movie. Okay, let's talk about TV shows and movies. We'll start with TV shows. The ones I predicted versus. If that's cool with you guys, I'll kick off this one.
Yeah, go crazy.
Sure, yeah.
All right. My heart wanted Ted Lasso. This I did not get, but pretty cool. In part because Emily in Paris didn't win jack, even though it wasn't maybe a half, but it was 20 plus members of a group that doesn't crack 90. 20 plus members were flown out to their set for basically a weekend vacation to Paris.
So it's like a timeshare meeting, but for Hollywood?
Yes.
I'd win my vote.
Except that, but it's almost like a weird reverse timeshare. Like, these folks just get to go, eat, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we'll nominate you. And off they go. No payment plan, no getting lawsuits later. It's almost like it's the studio that's getting played. It's the studio that goes to the Hollywood Foreign Press Association timeshare and goes, anyway, you're going to take us to this fancy location. And then next year, well, you better do better. Anyway, so Ted Lasso, I predicted Queen's Gambit, and if memory serves, Queen's Gambit did win. But I think that was I was going along with you guys. I don't think I was really stepping out of I wasn't taking a big swing there. That seemed to be a safe bet. Even though I didn't like it, all the buzz was the right buzz, So, yeah, that was those were my takes. What about you, Cody?
That's as far as TV shows go. Didn't really have any real pull as far as the musical or comedy series go. Schitt's Creek, never seen it, but I've heard good things about it, so, good on them, I suppose. I'm definitely not surprised that Queen's Gambit won. It's one of those I keep meaning to watch, but again, Netflix has not want to function for me lately, so I can't watch it right now, but aside from that...
And is anyone offering you a discount on anything? No. Jerks. Okay, anyway, sorry.
That's then as far as like a drama TV series go, I don't remember if I said it in the live stream, but I was like, oh, I kind of hope the Mandalorian will win, but I think I was doubtful though.
Yeah.
Then the winner to be in The Crown, which, you know, it's about royalty and queens and stuff, and queens are cool, I guess. So I mean, I guess it makes sense that one won. So yeah, the one thing I was kind of hoping to win with a Star Wars show didn't pull through. So yeah, feelings are pretty much about the same as for every category, it seems.
But and it's interesting that, like, no one, you did bring up the Mandalorian, and we talked about it a bit, and it is interesting that no one like it doesn't even come up now. It's like, oh, was the Mandalorian snubbed? Even though I think it kind of that it got nothing.
Yeah.
It is a little surprising that somebody didn't just at least. We might be one of the first to acknowledge. It's like, that is a bit of a bummer.
Yeah,
Not completely. Not like I don't understand, but at the same
like,
time,
yeah,
it's
really
noteworthy.
nothing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a quality television show, man. And
It is.
Pedro Pascal deserves all the awards just for being him.
You know,
Well, that might be.
had
That's
this
quite
been
a hot take. Cody's just full of the hot takes. I like the way you zip him in at the end there, Cody.
I don't mean to, it just keeps happening.
had this
Sorry,
been
you were saying,
another, had this been, the Emmys, perhaps there'd be some, all other awards, technical awards,
Better be.
available to them, but yeah, I mean, it's fairly limited, right? It's really focused on the actors and sort of the apex predators, basically, of the movie industry there,
Jim, why don't you're in the big boy
Sure.
seat. You're in the big picture.
Well, for the
What were
main
your
one,
film or
I think I just sort of looked at that main one, the best drama, and I was thinking, I'm just looking at my sheet here, my heart said Mandalorian, my brain said The Crown, so I guess I sort of got that one right, even though it's a bit of an ass-covering exercise. I didn't want Lovecraft County to win, just because I thought it's way too messy and way too sloppy. And that was it for me. I'm sort of, I remember being a kid and seeing, all these other series, they would win, or just not even a kid, but just being younger. And, Modern Family would win year after year, and Mad Men would win year after year, and that sort of thing. And that makes it
that's
sort of
an
boring
interesting point.
when one group sort of takes over, almost when one show kind of takes over. In this case, The Crown, I mean, it's popular enough. Like I said, the quality seems to go up and down year by year.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a neat experiment, changing the actors as you go along. That's not really done all that often. A lot of times you're using the old person makeup, which can either be can or cannot be effective sometimes. And I think we've discussed choices along those lines on this show as well. But it's kind of it's a little bit of a neat exercise. So yeah, and I haven't really, my wife has watched it and has, inhaled all that Crown, but I haven't yet. It's on the list. Like, it's yet another one on the teetering pile of shows to watch.
Yep.
Oh, I know.
Do you think, and Cody, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this as well, and folks in the chat, and we will before we move to films, we'll catch up on the chat. But do you guys think that, notwithstanding Jim's comments about The Crown picking up a number of awards, I don't feel like it dominated. Like, when you mention some of those shows past, even the Game of Thrones, there is no big 800-pound gorilla going, I will take all of these things. And one will pop out almost because the gorilla can't hold them all. One pops out and magically lands in one lucky contestant's hands.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think The Crown did that, like, has been done, and there are so many choices. What do you guys think?
Well, The Crown, I mean, it's the closest to doing that thing of old, and sort of, I mean, it won 3 acting awards and the best drama. So that's,
best,
I mean, I think at this point in time, golden age of TV or what have you, that's as close as you can get to something, totally dominating. But yeah.
Yeah. No. Well, Cody, what do you think on that?
Yeah, I think that's a good point because, when you mention something like a Game of Thrones, it's like, oh, yeah, I'll just take all of the gold, please. Everyone else can go home now. I guess there's maybe just like it's almost like prison rules, I guess. You gotta kick the biggest guy's ass, and you're the biggest guy, so it's kind of up for, like, the 700-pound gorilla title is up for grabs at the moment.
Yeah.
So I think we're just waiting on that next major show that's gonna do that kind of,
that captures the zeitgeist.
Yeah, so we're just kind of in like a weird limbo right now where it's like we got a lot of really good stuff, but not necessarily Game of Thrones or, Breaking Bad level, like everyone losing their mind if you don't watch it, what's wrong with you kind of thing.
Yeah. Like, even all the great talk about Better Call Saul,
it keeps winning like no awards.
It didn't take over the conversation. It has its fans. I'm thinking of a friend of the show, friend of us all, Shashank. Perhaps Cody might be a bit of a fan of BCS. But it didn't, you know what? It didn't command, you say Better Call Saul, there may be somebody in the room who, if you're ever in a room with other people, would be like, oh, I've heard of it. No, I haven't caught an episode yet. Whereas even I was not a Breaking Bad fan, and mostly it's the subject matter. It wasn't that I thought it was, but I knew enough about it. You couldn't, and the couple episodes I did see, I'm like, okay, I get why people are into this. Not my cup of tea, but I get it. It's immediate. Yeah, I understood it. Better Call Saul, like, none of these things right now are taking over. Like, and apparently, Jesus, really kind of, I think I poked,
oh my gosh.
Hot taters. I was saying, I was like, I thought I poked our good friend somewhere. I poked him in a bad place. He's pretty pissed about that.
It's like, oh no, that's cool. Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's quickly just catch up with the chat before we and here let's, so we can kind of see everyone. Take the spot off of Cody for a bit.
Good idea.
All right. Okay, so the Captain Canada thing. Now I get it. Apparently it was Captain Canada is someone who would hate Captain America. Oh. I don't... Yeah, I'm going to disagree with that. Again, Captain America, we're talking about the subtext. It's like Ted Lasso. You can't hate Ted Lasso. You can't hate Captain America. It's when you think about Captain America. And Captain Canada is the guy, listen, honestly, we have a Canadian writer here, a political writer, Maud Barlow, and she wrote a whole book called Holding the Bully's Coat. And it was all about our own foreign policy and how it interlinks with U.S. foreign policy. And, well, you can tell her opinion of it. And I think in this analogy, that's Captain Canada going, oh, let me hold that for you, Captain America. You do what you need to do. Don't worry, keep the coat safe. But that's a conversation for another time. But at least now I understand what Jelly Duck was saying. Anyway, let's see. The Upside Dan says, I don't know about this year, but WandaVision better win big next year. What, Jim, you've been watching. We are all going to talk about it next week. Cody,
we all going to talk about it?
Well, we will talk. You know what? I do want to put a panel together. Maybe we can discuss in the green room.
Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah, what do you guys have an opinion on this without biting too much off of what we can chew on Sunday? And yes, just for those of you who don't know, the Upside Dan will be a panel member. Yeah, you know what? Because Cody's
freaking go, man.
And I was hoping to ask Cody afterwards, you know, be it all cool and classy in the green room instead of right on the show. If he would join us, you know.
It's called the surprise. Okay, I get it. All right.
Yeah. Sorry. Anyway, yeah. What is it too soon to talk about awards, or maybe at least in performance? It might not be too soon. That there at least should be some nominations.
I don't think it's too soon necessarily, especially after the previous episode we just got with Elizabeth Olsen being front and center this time around, focusing on what the episode focuses on. I don't want to spoil it for anybody that isn't caught up yet, but I thought that was some really powerful stuff from that episode, and yeah, I think definitely it's gonna be a good contender for a few acting awards, and you know, the fact that it pays tribute to classic TV, that might help in its favor a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it's gonna be one of those, like, it's gonna dominate like every nomination, every category, every award, but I think its presence will be felt come next year, or you know, whatever the cutoff date for the Emmys and all that. And
so there we go. What do you think, Jim? Would you agree?
The Emmys are in September. I was just looking it up, and so I think the eligibility period is until May, and then they, I guess, over the course of the summer, that they get everything together and they have the ceremony in September. Assuming it's, I'm sure there's no reason why it shouldn't go on this year. So it's not like the Oscars where they have that Christmas cutoff and they got to be in 20 theaters and, you know, by the 31st or something like that. This one, number 8, was sort of an Elizabeth Olsen heavy episode. Again, trying not to give too much away. My favorite scene was the one sort of scene that she had with Paul Bettany. And I think, and we'll probably bring this up on Sunday, those two are the engine that really drives the show. Almost like with Chernobyl, the best parts of, not that they're similar at all, but the best parts of Chernobyl were when Jared Harris and Stellan Skarsgård were together.
Absolutely.
On the screen. That was the dynamo, right? Oh. That was the motion that powered the whole engine. And so I think in this case, it's the same thing. They play well off each other. They as they say in sports, it's a good matchup. Paul Bettany wasn't on this one, not to take anything away from Olsen, but I sort of noticed that. So it was nice to have that. They had a really nice scene just about watching television, and her seeking solace.
So what you're saying is, Jim, that
don't get me started.
I'm going to say, it's like we have a whole show dedicated to it. Is it too soon to talk about nominations, at least for actors? Doesn't sound like it is.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. The Upside Dan says, plus last year got Buzz right, and I hear season 2 is better. Haha, I'm not caught up. Not sure what he's talking about there.
I think it's Mandalorian he's talking about.
Oh.
And also, Dan, you're not caught up Mandalorian. What the heck, man?
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, actually, a little surprised. You're absolutely right. And
a lot of stuff goes down in season 2.
Yeah, like including one of the best cameos, like capital EVER.
You got to be a little more specific. There's a couple of pretty noteworthy cameos in that season,
including Kim's Convenience guy. No, just kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
Canadian reference.
Fun for the local reference, but
yes,
no, there is only one cameo.
Yeah.
One. like, and some of the others were like recurring characters, whereas I would say there was one.
Okay, I know which
cameo.
one you're talking about,
Yeah,
but it's
come
like
on, man.
a couple
All right.
characters get okay.
Okay. Upside Down does make a good comment here. Modern Family deserved it for a couple of years, so it needed some momentum before it could kind of gather enough critical steam, I guess. Breaking Bad wasn't for him either, but we shouldn't tell Shashank.
Uh-oh.
Okay,
we-
we won't tell him.
We'll edit that in post.
This will be our little secret. Just ban him from the channel for a couple of weeks. You won't even notice.
Oh, I don't know. It was the storms. Hey, Shashank, it was these northern hemisphere storms.
Hey, what's that over there?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, now, of course, now the Upside Down explains why he hasn't seen episode
Holy
2.
cow.
He has no love for the Mandalorian.
He's like picking a bar fight.
Little interesting. Well, you know what? We got to. The man has guts. He has integrity.
I respect that.
Oh, and then he's like, "Hey, I've watched 7 episodes."
Oh, we watched 7. That's cool.
All right, guys. Let's. You know what? We got a half decent chance of ending at a reasonable time frame here. Let's get to. Actually, before we get to films, I do want to make a. I'm gonna make a couple of shameless plugs with your guys' permission. One, as I've said. Oh, here you go. Poor Cody. Here, let me. Cody, sell my shit. I do want to remind everyone. Well, first of all, check Cody out. The Brockopp Side link in this video's description. Of course, you can just search the Brockopp Side on YouTube, and follow him on Twitter at Cody Brockopp. Right
I got
there.
some witty tweets, man.
Look at that. He does have a few entertaining hot takes. I can say that from experience. And then, of course, follow Jim and myself, Jim at jchleboyko on Twitter, myself at Rob Christensen. Come check us out and feel free to chat with us there. We get a little more, a little more wide-ranging. I also want to plug I have been consistent 2 weeks in a row, and I will be 3 weeks in a row this Saturday. Saturday mornings, I do get on Twitch. I play a video game badly, while engaging anyone on any subject, focusing on film, television. But there we get a little more. We allow the conversation to range a little more than the way I try and manage it on our YouTube show. So feel free to check it out. I will be there 10 a.m. Central Standard Time this Saturday, and I usually go to at least 11 a.m., but 11:30, noon is kind of my target. And so come hang out. It's more like a clubhouse. And then last but certainly not least, I can't stop the plugging. As I've said before, Jim and Rob Overanalyze Movies is like a low budget or even no budget film studies course, a survey course, if you're at Greendale Community College. And of course, like any course, you have a syllabus. And we put in the description below the movies we're looking at for about the next month, and that's pretty regularly updated. And we also have you got to have a film studies library and the bookstore, all affiliate links down below. Check it out. Anyway, enough plugging, enough shameless
Oh, you
plugging.
forgot to beg for likes, didn't you?
Oh, you're absolutely right. Yes.
Holy cow.
I can't believe. Thank you very much, Cody. You are the man. All right. Okay, so yes, everybody, we'd love a like. Smash that like button. It does help us out. If you like this kind of content, if you like this kind of content, please subscribe. And since we do these live shows, it would behoove you to ring the bell so you're notified, so you can
Put
stay
it where
up
the
to
bell
date.
actually is.
The bell's gone, Jim. Oh,
Okay,
what else do we got?
please.
Thank you. Please. Okay, and if you're a TikTok person, you should follow Call Me Chris, because you'll get this reference. Please. Anyway, all right.
Cody, I like that one.
It's you got to check this woman out on TikTok. She does this whole shtick. She's got like 8 different characters. They're all kind of variations on a theme, but one of them's a little girl, Riley. Who's,
with the tiny hands?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I know who you're talking about.
Please.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is solid effing gold. That's solid humor.
Yeah, just like Andrew Russo too.
Yes. All right, Jim. Why don't let's get into the movies. The movies.
Sure.
The film.
Well, using my expansive imagination, I went all in on Chicago 7 and Palm Springs, neither of which won best film in their
None
selective
of them
categories.
did
So.
Jack. I shouldn't say.
So-
Well, you know what? You got a consolation in Aaron Sorkin winning best screenplay
Yes, yeah. That's
for
that
that.
was exactly. But I'm happy for something like Nomadland and Chloe Zhao, who I thought was Chinese American, but she's Chinese. She's born in Beijing, so that's kind of interesting. An interesting portent for the upcoming Oscars. Although she works in the States now. I should mention that earlier comment about Jason Sudeikis before I forget. Being from Kansas, he spent time. He has roots in Kansas, but he's originally from Virginia. So, anyways,
He's not a real
having said
Kansan.
just trolling myself here. Just a little bit of a addendum, little correction there. But yeah, so I was wrong on both counts. Yeah, and very sad about it.
You know what? And let's do a little shout out to Sean. Lost the reel. Good to see you, man.
Oh, hey, how's it going, Sean?
Heard you got some
Snuck in.
merch or something. That's pretty cool.
He
does have
snuck
some
in like a ninja.
Yeah. But he dropped it at the right time. It's like it would have been so great to see Palm Springs win. There you go. You got a little shout out from him. Little
And he
support.
sneaks out the back door.
Well, we'll find out.
Drops that.
Was there any win in the movies category, in the film category, drama or comedy, musical, that bugged you? Or were you pretty kind of,
No, I'm willing to give the benefit of the doubt to Nomadland. The other one, the Borat movies are their own kind of thing. It won in the comedy drama.
It did.
And that was kind of
musical or comedy.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Comedy drama. What am I talking about? Musical or comedy? There we go. I'm sleepy. But yeah.
We
So
were up late last night.
Yes. Neither of those really. I thought, yeah, good for them both. And apparently, Sacha Baron Cohen is withdrawing his he's retiring his Borat character. So maybe this is a little bit of a curtain call that way.
Oh, no.
He's also in Chicago 7, so pretty good year for him.
Yeah, and one of the highlights for me of the Chicago 7 was his performance.
Oh,
All
by the
right.
way, I finally saw a trial of Chicago 7.
Oh, and
I like it. I liked it.
There we go. It's good, eh?
We gotta grab the frame where we're Jim and our and.
I like it.
Awesome. Cody, what?
Buddy.
What? Ooh, cute. Films, movies.
Okay, now I have
Movies,
some actual
films.
damn opinions. That's pretty cool. Okay, so for best drama, Nomadland won. I was kind of pushing for Promising Young Woman, but that's because at the time that's the only one I'd actually seen.
Yeah.
But like I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I did see Nomadland like a couple weeks ago, and I really enjoyed it. I could kind of see that being me, like in my 60s, just getting a van and traveling around, not having a place. But that's beside the point. So I am happy that won. Let's see. Borat, I'm not surprised it won. I didn't see it all the way through, but I did enjoy it. And again, like what
I saw was great.
pretty much, yeah. But yeah, I am bummed that Palm Springs didn't win. I really liked that movie. The funny thing though is in the musical or comedy category, that movie Music by the music artist Sia, I'm kind of surprised it got nominated to begin with, because I've heard absolutely horrible things about that movie. Like
It was
it's got
the Emily in Paris of film.
Actually, it's more. I think it's more like the Cats of 2021, from what I've heard.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well,
I've heard
without
it
the zillions of dollars spent on it.
That's good company.
pretty much. I kind of want to watch it just for the sake of watching a train wreck unfold.
Yeah.
So that might happen.
And apparently it took years to make. Like, it was a passion project of Sia, wasn't it? Like,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't heard a whole lot about it. I've just heard it. It doesn't represent people on the spectrum very well, like whatsoever. So that was kind of the backlash of it.
yeah.
It's one of those things that I kind of want to like pay the $5 whatever to rent it to watch it. I'm like, if I support it, does that make me a terrible person? You know?
Yeah, there's certainly a backlash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think we talked about animated movies too much. I'm gonna bring it up just real quick.
Yeah.
The fact that Soul won Best Feature, not really surprising. Pixar dominates every year with the awards, except for 2018 when Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse won. But that's pretty cool on my part. So yeah, I'm glad that won. So yeah, I'm pretty satisfied overall with the winners. I again am kind of bummed that Palm Springs didn't win, but not super surprised either.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I there was some good options. You know, it wasn't like it was, you know, some years where you're like, wow, there's a lot of stinkers out here.
Yeah, it's like
You
this
know?
year. It's like, do I want a cheeseburger or do I want chicken tenders? As instead of, do I want a cheeseburger or do I want dried rat turds?
That's quite the vivid comparison there. Just put the chicken tenders in the cheeseburger. That's the
I'm
and then
digging
chips
it.
on top.
I'm digging
And you
it.
just
That's a
crumble
good
some
idea.
chips on top. Yeah,
Uh,
gives it that crunch.
all right. I guess it's and nothing really bugged you.
Not really, you know. Some minor disappointment there as far as Palm Springs and all that,
Yeah.
but other than that, I'm cool with
Nothing
it.
offended you.
No, nothing offended me.
Yeah. For myself, for films, when I say I wanted the trial, it was partly just, well, that's the one I saw, and I did enjoy it, even though I had problems with it, which is kind of my brand. Predicted Nomadland again. You know what? Some of these were. It's almost too it's too easy. Like, yeah, all our sure shots. I think we only missed one or two. You know, like, and a lot of them were just, well, it's like, well, that'll win. I don't even need to see it to predict it. I did last time, and it's interesting. It did end up winning in its category. Well, best motion picture foreign language for Minari.
Minari, yeah.
And it's still what is interesting, what I thought was kind of cool. I still think that was the Hollywood Foreign Press Association yet again mishandling something, because it's 80 ding-dongs, you know, like only a third of them you could actually call journalists. And, you know, one of these people owns like some car leasing outfit, and it's really, I'll send you I did make a PDF of the article. I will send it to you, Cody, right after the show.
So basically, it was like, hey, you nominate a movie, you can get a free Honda Civic. Wink, wink.
It is. You got to read the article, man. It's more the, if you fly me there, I might nominate your movie. If you. But
It's basically
even, I guess,
FIFA then.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. Very, very. A similar lower rent for lower stakes, but that kind of sort of slightly greasy kind of. But at the same time, that one publicist was saying, "Hey, Hollywood could stop this. The studios could stop this tomorrow. They're okay with it. So should we really be that bothered by it?
Yeah.
Well, considering the only ones that pay attention to the Golden Globes are the three of us, apparently.
Oh. Best numbers we have received since we started was our last show. It was nuts.
The prediction one, yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. And as much as I'd love to say it's all about Cody being on our show, and I'm sure a good third of it was, there's something about the Golden Globes.
Cody brings in the youths.
The Utes. The Utes. All right. But I was, back to Minari briefly, I was really happy that Minari got the love it got for the win it got. And it wasn't like there was you could have, if you weren't listening closely, you could have thought it won Best Motion Picture. Some of the attention it got, right? And so it's like, it might, because of this, more people might see it, see an interesting film, see actors they're not used to seeing. And one of the benefits I think Jim and I have had over the last year with the number of foreign language film, whatever you want to call it, is you're seeing the world in a different way, and you're seeing performances unadorned with our own preconceptions of what actor X or Y should do. So, I kind of flipping the script on that. I was like, oh, that worked out better than I thought. I got to say one of the things I wanted to win kind of won anyway. So, I was pretty pleased with it all. Guys, let's before we get to final thoughts, we got some chat generated. So of course, yes, Sean Sean chimes in. Sean chimes in. It would have been so great to see Palm Springs win. And Dan, Sean, thank God. It's like, geez, the Upside Dad, like.
Oh, finally, the voice of reason shows up.
First
Somebody shows up that's making it entertaining. Now here is, this is where it's like, this is why, one of the many reasons, folks, Jim and I are blessed with the best chat on the internet. Lost and Real says, aren't you guys happy that Da 5 Bloods didn't get nominated?
Trolling us.
I love it.
I don't like the look in your eyes when you said that.
Yeah.
Love it.
That was scary.
Well, and it's funny. I mean, within our scene, there were some folks that did say, Delroy was robbed. But that lasted all for a day, and no one's talking about it. No one's talking about this film.
Oh, yeah, Cody. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but since then, no one's talking about it. It's not like, oh, this is still one of the great snubs of the Golden Globes. Cody looks like he's, sure,
he's
asshole.
Sad.
Why am I in the big box? What did I do?
All right, we go back.
All eyes.
I'm not the one on trial here, man.
Would it be Trial of the Vegas 1? Why did you like this movie?
It was peaceful, I swear.
Yeah.
Why? Oh, wait.
Uh,
Why?
You can head bonk him.
Yeah. All right. Lost in the Reel. Oh, dear God. Music is awful.
You're talking
Well,
about the
Jim, I
movie,
don't
right?
think we have to put this on our list.
Nope.
Nope. The Upside Dan says, I haven't seen Music or Emily in Paris, but Emily in Paris is better. Well, you know what? No one is saying it's awful. They're all kind of acknowledging it's kind of light, fluff nonsense.
It just kind of exists.
Well, it's a lower key Bridgerton.
It's
Another
what
thing
you
where
put
I'm
on
like,
at dinner time. We just want some background noise on, basically, right?
Yeah, perhaps, you know what? Some people like and again, I kind of give people the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes you just want to see pretty people, male or female, you just want to see attractive people doing glamorous things in an incredible place. And
That's why people watch this show.
yeah, exactly.
Well put. Yes.
Well, it's absolutely. Another hot take, another zinger. So, you know what, on that, to cut Emily in Paris some slack, who am I to deny someone their guilty pleasure? I mean, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I enjoy my guilty pleasure. I enjoy The Big Bang Theory, and that's borderline offensive. And yet, every now and then, it's like, I just want to click, and I've seen this episode 12 times, but there's that joke I love. Lost in the Reel. Don't do it, Cody. I'm
I
not
think that's
quite
about
sure what
watching
he's
music. I think
Yeah,
it's
I
about
think
watching
it's
music.
not spending money to watch
Oh,
music.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and the Upside Down, though, is saying that he doesn't know if, I guess, I'm assuming referring to music, can be worse than cats. All right. Upside Down is excited to watch Minari. You know what? I prefer my interpretation, the Upside Down, to your earlier comment. I find it funnier. Dan explaining it wasn't
A diss.
yeah, it wasn't a diss. And then are we going to talk Andra Day's shocking win? We did at the top of the show. If you were here,
Oh.
Yes, Sean.
if you were here, you would have known this, Sean.
We were like, oh no. Anyway,
What? No, we weren't. Yeah.
I think the weirdest thing, Sean, is that aside from the Hollywood Foreign Press, who got a chance to actually watch this? I mean, I'm still. You need a chart for all these movie releases and platforms and things like that. But
Well, and again, yeah, when did it come out? Like how could we have seen it?
yeah.
It
Exactly.
Much like I Care a Lot. It's like, what? How did she win? I only heard of this movie a month ago.
it came out
Yeah.
45 seconds ago. What do you mean?
Yeah.
I saw Sean's review on it. He quite liked it. And
Yeah.
I think Dan had mentioned that as well. So
Yeah. Yeah, no.
yeah.
Mhm.
He had Lost in the Reel says it's on Hulu, so I don't know that we get Hulu in Canada. Keeping in mind 2 different countries here.
Well, it's like we get HBO Max when we do, but sometimes we don't. We shouldn't complain about it.
yeah.
Listen, just because we call it HBO
yeah.
and we refer to HBO Max movies and talk about these movies, HBO Max is on Crave, doesn't mean you're getting HBO Max.
There's a great Viking show from Sweden that I'm dying to see that they apparently have on HBO about Vikings coming back to the modern world and having to be incorporated. And I'm dying to see it, and it's not on Canadian HBO anyway. Yeah. I don't.
Yeah, we don't. Canada does not have Hulu in and of itself. You find shows on Hulu in a hodgepodge of other streaming services, or you buy it on Google Play, or you have to buy it like video on demand, or you just don't have it. Love and Monsters, Canadian film production. It was a Canadian-American co-production. A Canadian director. Cannot see it in effing Canada. Can't find it. Can't, you could bootleg it, but Jim and I wanted to do it for our Valentine's Day show, because that's just comedy gold. You still can't find it in Canada.
Oh, well, hit me up. I'll mail you a DVD copy of it.
Well, that's what we need
Canada's
to do.
Region 1, isn't it?
Yep.
We have... Yeah.
What the hell? Hook me up.
Hook us up, man.
I don't know where you live.
We will coordinate that in the green room after the chat. All right.
Our DVDs are made out of frozen syrup, though, so that's a slight problem. Dan, we can see Palm Springs on Prime. We get Prime up here.
Yeah, and we get 99. I think once in a blue moon. No, I think if it's a Prime original, if it's a Amazon Studios, we get them. Some of the other stuff you might see in the United States, but not in Canada, and vice versa. But that'll be some sort of country-to-country licensing deal with the original producers. Well, you know what, Dan? You could send Jim a copy, and Cody could send me a copy. Then we both have a copy.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. As we try and broker a DVD deal. All right. Lost in the Reel. Love Monsters is worth it. Is so good. Yeah. No. Actually, it was your review, or was it your review, or maybe it was one of you guys, I think, did a review on it, and I was like, I want to watch that effing movie. It just looks fun.
Yeah, I know why I did, but he probably did one too, I think.
Yeah. Well, maybe I saw both of yours, Oh, look at this. We might get hooked up. Somebody's going to get hooked up. We will coordinate later. Perhaps in the WandaVision green room. Okay, enough of that. Let's, you know what, guys, let's get to our final thoughts. Once again, we might get out of here in under 2 hours. There's always the dream, right? But Jim, you're in the big frame. You're in the big frame. Why don't you start us off? Give us your hot takes.
Just when you were talking about Minami there, I was sort of not entirely sure of the timeline of the rise of Parasite last year. But I'm pretty sure Parasite. Oh, I see. I'm sure Parasite did okay at the Golden Globes.
I like that.
I think it won. This year, of course, with the timing, the Oscar nominations are coming out after the Golden Globes. So maybe something like Minami. I as wacky as the foreign press is.
FYI, the three of us will be doing. At least the three of us will be doing a.
Sure.
Like we did last time. Anyway, sorry, Jim.
No, it's okay. Just the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, even though it's sort of a goofy organization, there's some influence there. So maybe it'll affect who comes out in the nominations for the Oscar, and it'll be interesting to see that. Maybe different movies will get a bit of a better look than they normally would have. So sort of looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool. Cody.
The Golden Globes.
Yeah, what's your final thoughts on the Globes? What we've talked about? Anything else you want to add?
Well, another socially distant awards show. Definitely quite fascinating. I'm kind of curious to see how the Oscars are going to go after this one. It's kind of. It's kind of going back to what I've said like 1,000 times. Didn't see a whole lot of what was nominated, so I didn't have too many strong opinions, which I plan with the Oscars to pay a little bit closer attention. I feel like since
Yeah,
it's a
me
lot
too.
more narrowed down as far as just movies,
Yeah.
I think I'll have a few more stronger opinions that time. But some things we kind of hit the nail on the head with a few of our predictions. Others, not so much.
Less so.
Yeah. And you know what? We also went off on like 35 different tangents, which is always fun. And
It is our way.
so, I mean, it was kind of worth it just to go off and, discuss it with the two of you and all the people that are, in the comment section talking about other things behind our backs. And yeah, it's a good time.
Excellent. All right. Myself, guys, I love to make fun of these things. I love to talk some trash about them. Looking at you, Cody, down there, I am. Please.
Sorry, I didn't.
That said, I think it's almost it's worthy of an essay. I think there is something worth diving deep. These are not they're you could watch this stuff and predict who's going to win, but I think it's one of the worst predictors of what is good. Or it's actually probably a pretty decent predictor of good, but we can all recognize good. What is great, I think these award shows, Golden Globes is worse than the Oscars, but even the Oscars does not have this remarkable track record at going, this is good. Especially when it comes film to film. A career, sure, but even then it's like you give a career award, like what has become the modern stand-in for a career award, best actor, best actress, because everyone's like, well, got to give this person something, because we've ripped them off too many times. Even that's kind of easy. Well, they've done 8 amazing films in the last 8 years, and they've got a career going back 20 years with hardly a stumble. That's not tough. So what part of these award shows actually play in, let's call it pop culture fandom, pop culture in general, and the business of Hollywood, and even the people who win the awards? What is it really about? I think that's worth a deeper dive, worth maybe an essay. I just might go there. I might go to that dark side, Cody. Look it up. It's bugging them already, Jim.
Okay, I don't hate all video essays. Some of them are really good. Just be careful. That's all I'm saying. Just be careful.
Let's see where this goes as I go into the door of the video essay.
Don't slip into the darkness. I will have to destroy you. We will
we'll
lightsaber fight in a lava planet if we have to.
Yeah.
Taking a turn.
Well, we'll have to discuss this. Perhaps I'll have a couple of laughs in the green room afterwards, guys. Just so you're aware. Specific to the green room, it's not like it was before. Restream's changed a few things, so you're gonna get kicked off. I will send you on Facebook a link I'll send you another link, and then you'll have to log back on. It's kind of a pain in the ass, but stick around. Like, don't just go home or anything. Don't turn your computer off. Let's have a post. Let's have a post-show chat. But
what?
But first of all, again, Cody, thank you very, very much for coming by, for bringing your zingers and contributing to this. Like I said, we wouldn't be doing this without the having the best chat on the internet and great friends like Cody who come on the show and bring their A game and bring their view to us and to everyone who watches afterwards. So again, Cody, thanks very much. there's like I said, the links in the description. Check him out on Twitter. And yeah, again, thanks, Cody. And you know what? I'm gonna send you off now briefly.
I'm gonna drop things. I'm dropping things in Cody's head. Oh no, it didn't work.
We'll have to practice that because we
Yes.
do have a special show coming up. Got a couple of zany plans and collaborations for everyone.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, if folks perhaps on the show, some folks perhaps in the chat right now. So yeah. So Cody, thanks and stick around, okay?
Okay.
And I'm taking you off now. All right, Jim. Another solid show.
Yes.
And look at this. We managed to get out of here in less than 2 hours.
What's wrong with us?
What is? Indeed. You're absolutely right. What's our deal? What's our problem? All right, man. I'm again like Cody, yeah, I'm going to kick you off. You're going to get kicked out eventually, and I'll send you a link right away. So just be patient, and we'll have a little post show chat in the green room. Green room. All right.
See y'all.
Oh, sorry, Jim. What were you saying there?
Bye, guys. No, just bye, all.
Yeah. All right. Bye, man. Okay, everybody. Once again, the best chat, whether it's a big raucous group like we had last night for hours, or a smaller, tighter little group here. Thank you all so much for coming. And yeah, Upside Down, really looking forward to next week's show. You know what? So let me say to all of you guys, Sean, Lost in the Real, thanks for dropping by. Thanks for bringing your thoughts and your opinions to the chat. Of course, the Upside Down, thank you very much for coming and chiming in. And I would be amiss if I didn't include our good friend Ahmed, our man in Kuwait City, Jelly Duck 100. Great guy, does great things here on YouTube. You should check him out as well. And yes, let's get the Upside Down over that 100 mark. All right, with that in mind, I think it's time to let's see. Yeah, let's bring the music down. Let's bring the music down and cue the outro.
I've been in your waters.